in this very important debate. Speaker, sir, today is truly a historic day because finally the women of India who have been waiting for almost 40 years for their right, for their due to participate in the national policy-making process will finally get their share. The Narendra Modi government, by the 3 bills that have now been introduced, is not only going to fast-track the Women's Reservation Bill and its applicability from 2029, it is also going to write a new chapter in the development journey of India by for the first time giving the Nari Shakti of this country a vocal, visible, credible, tangible representation in the nation-building process. I would want to, on behalf of all the women of this country, congratulate and thank Prime Minister Narendra Modi for these 3 very important and historic bills that are fast-tracking, catalyzing the participation of women in the country's politics. Speaker, sir, the journey of the Women Representation Bill, the Women Reservation Bill that started in 1996 and is finally now seen crucial in 2026. This 30-year journey has seen a checkered history. At least a half a dozen times, the bill was introduced, and on one pretext or the other, especially parties who are now in the opposition, delayed, disrupted, and ensured that the bill does not see the light of day. We still remember when earlier the bill was introduced in the earlier government's tenure, leaders from Samajwadi Party and the RJD tore up the bill in this house and said this women reservation bill will pass only over my dead body. The country remembers this kind of emphatic opposition that they gave to the women reservation bill at that time. ये अटके रहा था, 30 साल के लिए अटके रहा था। आज नारी शक्ति वंदन अधिनियम जो पारित हुआ है, वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ भारतीय जनता पार्टी और नरेंद्र मोदी जी के कारण से वो पारित हो चुका है। अध्यक्ष जी, even today, the opposition has now come up with a new argument, a new pretext to further stall and further disturb and oppose the application of the Women Reservation Bill. And the new pretext that they have come up with is this vacuous opposition, this baseless opposition to the delimitation exercise. When the Nari Shakti Adhiniyam was passed in 2023, and it was passed unanimously, all political parties agreed that the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam, the Women Reservation Bill, will be applicable after the census and a delimitation is undertaken. This is the mandate of the Constitution that everybody voted for. Today, the opposition has taken a U-turn. They are now opposing the fast-tracking of this bill in the 2029 elections and saying we want to oppose this because we don't want the delimitation exercise to take place. I come from the south of the country, the southern state of Karnataka, Speaker, sir, just like you represent from Kerala. Speaker, sir, over the last 3 days, we have seen a systematic misleading and propaganda by certain members of the opposition in the most irresponsible, anarchic fashion to mislead the people in the south of India. Let me make it very clear. If at all there was anything, even an ounce of injustice that the proposals that the government has brought to the parliament, even if there was an ounce of injustice to the south of India, I as a proud Kannadiga would have been the first to oppose such kind of a proposal. I have gone through the proposal that the government of India has brought, the Modi government has brought. I am saying this not as a member of the BJP, but I am saying this after thoroughly examining all the three proposals, that other than the practical proposal that the Modi government has brought for delimitation of seats in the country, the south of India and the smaller states of India that have controlled our population, we could not have got a better deal than this. This is the best deal that the Narendra Modi government has provided. Very briefly, I want to explain to you, through you to the House and the country, Speaker, sir, the constitutional framework that governs the delimitation exercise. My learned friend 𝘀𝗂𝗽𝗍 was in his speech mentioning that we are bringing the delimitation exercise through the back door. I want to very clearly make it clear to him that the delimitation exercise is not a backdoor exercise that the BJP is doing. This is a constitutional mandate of Article 81 and 82. We are only purely following what the Constitution asks us to do. There are three primary articles that govern the exercise that we are now conducting, Speaker, sir. Article 81, Article 82, and Article 330A of the Constitution, which provides for women reservation. Let us examine all the three articles briefly and summarily to understand what the articles essentially say. The first article, 81, determines the total number of seats. It also says that the total number of seats meant to the Lok Sabha, the House of People, must be divided across the country in such a manner that the ratio between the number of total seats and the population of the state is, so far as practicable, the same for all states. This is the first requirement. The second requirement of Article 81 is that within the states, the territorial constituencies shall be divided in such a manner that the ratio between the population of each constituency and the number of seats allotted is, as far as practicable, same within the state. This is the mandate of the Article 81. Now, as you are aware, Speaker, sir, Article 81 and Article 82, by operation of the 42nd Amendment, which was carried forward again by 2001 Amendment, froze the number of seats in the Lok Sabha to 543 with a leeway to expand it to 550 seats. Why was this done? In 1997, when this was first discussed, the population in the country had not stabilized. Therefore, a compromise formula was taken that let us not put the southern states which have performed well in population control, let us not penalize them, let us freeze the number of seats. The same thing continued even in 2001. In 2001, while considering this bill, the then Law Minister, Arun Jaitley ji, said this to the floor of the House. He said the national population policy also envisages that the year 2026 shall be the year in which the population of the country would hopefully stabilize. Therefore, what was true till 2000 is sought to be frozen till the year 2026. That is, the year in which we anticipate, hopefully, that the population figure in the country would stabilize. This is the motive behind freezing of the seats in 1971, which was carried for another 25 years in 2001. We are now in 2026. The first argument that the opposition is making is they don't want the delimitation exercise to take place. This is the most absurd argument. In 1971, the population of the country was 550 crores. The population of the country in 2026 today is 140 crores. There are assembly constituencies and parliamentary constituencies. Again, I want to take the reference made by learned colleague 𝘀𝗂𝗽𝗍 in his speech. There are certain assembly constituencies in this country which are 26 lakh in number. There are certain constituencies where one single MP is representing close to 38 lakh people in the country. The population of almost a small nation in Europe. How is this democratic? How is this accountable governance? How can the number of seats that was frozen in 1971 still cater to a population of 140 crore in 2026? For better governance, for better accountability and accessibility of elected representatives. Speaker, sir, delimitation is not a mere democratic imperative. It is also a constitutional duty that finally Narendra Modi government is performing today. Speaker, sir, I want to contrast this with the proposals that the Congress and the opposition is giving. The opposition says, why can't you implement women reservation as it is on the 543 seats? Why don't you freeze the number of seats? Now, were we to freeze the number of seats, it will defeat the principle in Article 81 of one person, one vote and one value. This is a very important constitutional principle that the founding fathers of the Constitution have protected. You cannot be having a seat where 8 lakh or 9 lakh people will be one parliamentary constituency and another constituency with around 30 lakh people represented by one MP. It defeats the very purpose, which is why Constitution mandated that 2026 shall be the year where delimitation of the seats shall take place. All that the government is now trying to do is fulfill this constitutional mandate. There is a difference between other governments and the Modi government, Speaker, sir. Other governments, especially the governments of the Congress party, have always believed and practiced the politics of postponement. It is the Narendra Modi government that does not believe in politics of postponement, but believes in solving the problems of the past. I want to give you an example. OROP was pending from 40 years. What did earlier Congress governments do? Postpone it. Article 370 was pending from 70 years. What did all these governments do? What was supposed to be a temporary provision, they converted into a permanent provision. What did they do? Postpone it. The Bangladesh and India border swapping deal, for almost 40-50 years, it was kept pending. What did the earlier governments do? Postpone it. It is the Narendra Modi government that solved the 70-year-old temporary provision of Article 370 by abrogating it, because we do not believe in the politics of postponement. We finally solved the OROP after 40 years because we do not believe in the politics of postponement. If the Congress were in power today, they may have, like was done in 71, like was done in 2001, wanted to take the safe route, the unconstitutional route, the undemocratic route of freezing the 1971 census equation. But the Narendra Modi government has decided to bring a new equation to the scheme, which is going to give more seats to all states, more representation, and while doing this, follow the constitutional mandate of delimitation based on one vote, one value principle. This, according to me, Speaker, sir, is the most practical, genius solution that anybody could have come on. I welcome this constitutional proposition that the Narendra Modi government has brought. Speaker, sir, I now want to take a couple of minutes to examine the arguments that the Congress party and its leaders, the opposition and its leaders have made in opposition to these three bills. Now, the first thing that they say is, don't do anything. Don't bring in the delimitation. Why are you bringing delimitation and connecting it with the women's reservation bill? Now, let me for a minute assume what will happen if we don't do anything today. Article 81, Article 82, and the Nari Shakti Adhiniyam under 330A will trigger. Now, what will that do? 2027, the moment the new census data is published, the delimitation exercise will get triggered. And because as of today, Article 82 and 81 freezes the number of seats in the country at 543, all across the country, delimitation will have to take place to redistribute the 553 seats among the existing states of the country based on the 2027 population. Now, what is this scenario going to do? Speaker, sir, because you come from Kerala, I want to draw the attention of the country with an instance, an example of Kerala. Now, suppose the government today does not go ahead with delimitation and 330A comes into play by force of law. 2027 census gets published, what will happen then? Look at these numbers, Speaker, sir. Today, Kerala has 20 parliamentary seats. If you will divide based on 2027 projected population, the population of the country and population of Kerala, and divide the 553 seats across the country from north to south, then Kerala will lose 6 seats. Kerala will have only 14 seats. Now, on these 14 seats, bring 1/3 representation for women that 330A Nari Shakti Adhiniyam brings. Now, what is going to happen? In that case, Venugopalji will not have a seat. In that case, all those people who are representing the Congress here and opposing this will not have a seat. What the present proposal of the Narendra Modi government is to not only protect the existing seats from encroachment, it is also a proposition to ensure that Kerala does not lose out on 6 seats. Now, for a minute, I want to assume, let us not take the 2027 census, but let us divide the country's parliamentary seats on the basis of 2011 census. Now, what will happen? 2011 census ke aadhar par, if we are going to divide the number of seats, again 543 because Article 81 freezes is at 843, again Kerala will lose 5 seats. If you take 2011 seat number, Kerala will lose 5 seats. If you take 2027 number, Kerala will lose 6 seats. What Narendra Modi government is today offering is additional 10 seats to Kerala. This is only gain and no loss. This is why I say this is the best proposal that one can bring. Speaker, sir, let me take the example of Tamil Nadu. I am glad that Rajaji has come here. Now, they are making the most loudest opposition.
One second. How can you convince the House how this 10 seats will be increased? By which provision?
How?
By which provision this 10 seats will be
Yes. I'm coming there, Speaker.
Please.
Yes. Thank you, Speaker, sir. You have asked a very pertinent question. Many questions from the opposition in the last few days is the delimitation bill, the Constitution Amendment Bill, both do not speak of this 50% increase. On what basis are you saying there is going to be a 50% increase? This is the question. Is this the question, Speaker, sir? Yes. Speaker, sir, I would want to draw your attention.
Not the Speaker, Chairman, sir.
Chairman, sir, sorry. I would want to draw your attention to Article 81 of the Constitution again. What does the Constitution Article 81 say? Article 81 says, as it reads today, not more than 530 states chosen by direct election from territorial constituencies in the state, not more than 20 members to represent union territories in such manner as Parliament may provide. In essence, 81.1 and 2, 81.1a, b, essentially gives 550 seats as the total seats that is now frozen. The interesting part is 81.2, where the mandate is that the above said seats, the 550 seats mentioned above, shall be allotted to each state in such a manner that the ratio between the number of population of seats and the total seats and the population of the state shall, as far as practicable, be same across the state. This is the provision that operates the 50% argument. Today what we have done, instead of 530 members, we have now increased it to 815 members for the House of People seats from the states and increased another 30 for the union territories. A 50% increase is what we have given. Now, how will this be operated? When Article 81.2 is applied and the Delimitation Commission will have to conduct the delimitation and the apportionment exercise exactly on the basis of 81.2 because it's the constitutional mandate, then they will have to reapportion the states. They reapportion the seats in the only manner possible, that is a 50% increase for every state. This is the argument. Chairman, sir, the problem is the opposition does not come prepared for debates, and even if they do come prepared for debates, they behave in a manner as though that they don't understand, because the object is not to understand, the object is to oppose for the sake of opposing. I hope I have made myself clear, Chairman, sir. Chairman, sir, now let us examine the second argument. Now the second argument is that if there is a proportionate increase in 50% of seats for all states, then the states of southern India will lose out. Rajaji, please listen to me. I am as much as Indian from the south like you are. The only difference is I do not speak the language of separatism that the DMK practices. I believe that the country from Kashmir to Kanyakumari is one. Speaker, sir, I want to...
Surya ji.
Speaker, sir.
Tejasvi Surya ji. Please, wait, I will.
Speaker, sir.
I will.
Let me. Speaker, sir, let me.
I will.
Speaker, sir.
Tejasvi Surya ji.
Now, Speaker, sir.
No, please.
Chairman, sir, my request is, Rajaji, I will strictly stick to what the technical portion.
You just hear me for 1 second.
Yes.
See, please don't make any allegation against against a political party. No. See, no. Please. I will. After this, after Tejasvi Surya, I will give the opportunity since you have mentioned his name.
Yes.
You please wait.
Speaker, sir. On. Speaker, sir, 1 second. Rajaji, I want to take your attention. On 24th March 2026.
If you are taking the name of Sri Raja, then I have to give the chance to
you. Please give him a chance after my speech.
Okay,
after my speech, please
fine.
I have no objection.
After he
Speaker,
concludes,
sir.
I will give the chance. No, I will give the chance.
Chairman, sir. Chairman, sir.
So you are yielding?
No. After my speech, let him answer. I am not yielding. Speaker, sir. On March 24th, 2026, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister 𝘀𝗂𝗽𝗍 makes this tweet, and I will read one important sentence from that tweet, with which I have full sympathy and full support. This is the tweet that 𝘀𝗂𝗽𝗍 speaks and writes. It is our consistent stand that the current proportional representation of states should not be disturbed under any circumstances. This is what he says. I agree with this. I have already made it clear. If at all this government had brought in a proposal that would decrease the number of seats and my state of Karnataka would be in a loss, I would have been the first to protest it. Now, what has the government done in the light of this tweet? What does the state say? The current proportional representation of states should not be disturbed under any circumstances. I will take you back to this chart. Now, Speaker, sir, Chairman, sir. Now what is going to happen? We have increased the number of seats to 815 in total. Every state is getting 50% proportionate increase. As a result of this, Tamil Nadu, which is now at 39, is going to get 59 seats. Karnataka, which has 28, is going to get 42 seats. Andhra Pradesh, which has 25, will get 38 seats. Telangana, which has 17, will get 26 seats. Kerala, which has 20, will get 30 seats. And what is the proportionate increase? Andhra Pradesh, 52%. Telangana 52%, Karnataka 51%, Tamil Nadu 51.5%, Kerala 50%. The total share of the South Indian states, which as it stands today, in the total scheme of things in the parliament, in the floor of the parliament, which is 23.9, will continue to remain 23.9 after this is passed. I don't understand where is this objection coming from. This is exactly what the Modi government has done by protecting the proportional representation of states which should not be disturbed. the argument, the demand that Stalin had made, this is the same thing that the Narendra Modi government has done, but today they are out there in Tamil Nadu doing drama by burning this constitution amendment bill. Let there be a limit to your hypocrisy, Rajaji. Let there be a limit to the hypocrisy of the DMK. Now, Speaker, sir, now the question is, what will be the scenario if we do not increase the seats proportionately by 50%? One of the arguments that has been proposed, advanced, is why don't you simply stick to 2011 census numbers, and based on 2011 census, without the 543 limit, increase the number of states. Now, if we were to increase the number of seats purely on the basis of 2011 census, by not providing...
He's not yielding.
By not providing a 50% increase, Chairman, sir, this will be the scenario. Tamil Nadu today has 39 seats. If delimitation were to be conducted purely on the basis of 2011 census, it will be 49 seats. What Narendra Modi government is giving to Tamil Nadu today is 59 seats, 10 seats more than what the opposition is arguing for. Kerala has 20. If only by 2011 census, if we had done the gerrymandering or the demarcation of the seats, Kerala will get only 3 seats in rice, 23 seats. Kerala today is getting 30 seats in rice. Karnataka today has 28. If only by the population, if we were to do for 2011 population, Karnataka will get 41. Karnataka is now getting 42. Andhra Pradesh is 25. If only by 2011 you do, it would be 33. Today, Andhra Pradesh is getting 37. Whichever way you look at it, if you look at it from the way of 27 census, if you look at it from the way of 2011 census, if you look at it by 543 as redistribution, or by taking away all of these things and only basing it on population, none of these permutations and combination is going to give the southern states as best a deal as what Narendra Modi government has now given by this 50% proportionate increase in the population, in the seats formula. Now, Speaker, sir, now this is the second question. Chidambaram Saab yesterday has put a long article, a tweet, and said that the proportionate voice of the South Indian states will get diluted if there is a 50% rise in the number of seats. My question is, today, the share of the South Indian states in the overall scheme is 23.7%. It will continue to be 23.7%. How will the voice of the South get diluted? Second, the majority margin, the halfway mark today is at 272. If there is going to be a 50% increase in the total number of seats, naturally the halfway mark also will jump by 50%. So this whole argument that the southern states is going to lose because of the proportionate 50% increase, I will say, is not only a vacuous argument, it is an illogical argument, it is not only an unconstitutional argument, but most importantly, Speaker, sir, this is a mischievous argument that comes from creating anarchy in this country by misleading the people. Speaker, sir, now I would want to take a few minutes of the time allotted to me to examine the alternatives that the Congress party and the opposition has proposed. Now, there are broadly 3 alternatives that the Congress has proposed. The first alternative is, don't increase the 543 number of seats. Let the delimitation exercise or the Nari Shakti Adhiniyam come into existence, come into force on the 543 seats. I have already explained that one, it is constitutionally impermissible because Article 81, 82 demands the value of one vote, one value. Second, if we were to redistribute 543 seats based on 2027 census or 2011 census, the proportion of the seats that the southern states today have is going to further get reduced. Therefore, this first argument, the argument of postponing of delimitation exercise or the argument to freeze the number of seats as per 1971 absolutely holds no constitutional value and therefore must be rejected. Second, the argument that the opposition is making, the Chief Minister of Telangana has made, is to propose a very interesting hybrid model of linking the population of the state along with the GSDP, the state's per capita contribution and the state's gross development of the state. Now this argument, I don't know, Speaker Sir, who has advised the Chief Minister of Telangana. Either I can only say that they don't wish him well, because this proposal is laughable at the best and impractical at the worst. Let me explain why. First, if you will say that the vote of a common citizen in Telangana has more value than the vote of a common voter in Bihar, then you are defeating the constitutional principle of one value, one vote. आप किसके आधार पर देश में ये डिलिमिटेशन और एक्सरसाइज करना चाहते हैं? जो अमीर है क्या उनके लिए ज्यादा वोट होगा? जो गरीब है क्या उनका वोट नहीं है, उसके लिए वैल्यू नहीं है? ये किस प्रकार के आर्गुमेंट है? अध्यक्ष जी, if you will take this argument further forward, Mukesh Ambani will have 1 lakh vote and somebody like us will have only 1 vote. Is this the kind of logic that the Congress wants to build? Speaker Sir, this argument by this alternative by Telangana Chief Minister of linking delimitation and number of seats to the GSDP of the state is the most foolish argument anybody can prosper. This is unconstitutional. This defeats the value of one man, one vote, one value that the Constitution promises. Second, Speaker Sir, there is another very important dimension to this. GSD देश के GDP हो या प्रदेश के GDP हो, ये 10 साल 15 साल वो stagnant नहीं रहता है. It is not going to remain constant. Every 6 months GDP can go up, GDP can come down. 1 year GDP will be high, another year GDP will be low. Now suppose you are going to link delimitation and number of seats with the GSDP of a state. Will Telangana's and other states' number of seats keep getting fluctuated? Today, this year was a good monsoon, GDP was good, so Telangana will have 2 extra seats. Next year, Tamil Nadu had bad rainfall, therefore GDP fell down, so Tamil Nadu will lose 2 seats. Is this the argument? These are the kind of laughable alternatives that the Congress party is proposing, and on the basis of this, they are misleading the people of this country. Now, the second alternative that they have proposed, the third alternative. The first is not do anything. The second is, which they are experts at. क्योंकि जब आप कांग्रेस पार्टी के पॉलिटिक्स को देखते आते हैं, they are the practitioners of politics of postponement. हर चीज जो देश के सामने बड़ा मुद्दा आता है, आ जाता है, when they cannot address it, what do? Postpone कर दो उसको. That is their first reaction. Their first proposal is postpone it, कुछ मत करो, इसको freeze करो, which is unconstitutional. Second, the Telangana CM's proposal linking GSDP to number of seats, which again, like I demonstrated, Speaker Sir, is the most ludicrous argument. Third argument that they have given, that I read Honorable member, learned friend 𝘆ecie𝗂𝗍 has made. He has said that there should be a digressive proportionality model as per the European Union Parliament. Now, while this, true to 𝘆cieji's nature, sounds very sophisticated, actually it does not make sense in the Indian context. Because the moment you are going to introduce this principle of digressive proportionality, it once again violates the principle of one man, one vote, one value. Second, larger states in the south of India, like Tamil Nadu, like Karnataka, which are today the 6th most populous state, 8th most populous state in the country, are going to again get a raw deal because of this digressive proportionality argument. Therefore, my submission, Speaker Sir, other than this 50% equal proportionate increase to all states alternative that Narendra Modi ji has proposed. There is no alternative that serves everybody, that is gain for everybody and no loss for everybody. Therefore, the country as a whole, and especially the opposition, must welcome this with all responsibility. Speaker, sir, the other argument that has come in criticism of this 800 plus seat increase is that if you increase the number of seats of the Lok Sabha to 800 plus seats, then it will become an unwieldy Lok Sabha. That the Lok Sabha will be so big that you will not have healthy debates, healthy discussions. ये बहुत बड़ा ये unwieldy हो जाएगा. This is the argument that Manish Tiwari ji has advanced. Now I want to ask myself, Speaker, sir, the productivity or the quality of outcome of a Lok Sabha or the body like this depends not just on the number of people, but on the quality of the debates that take place, the number of sittings that we do. In 1952, when for the first time the first parliament after the general election convened, Lok Sabha Speaker, sir, would sit on an average of 135 days in a year. In the last few years, the average sittings of Lok Sabha has gradually come down. And last term, it has come only to 55 days. Why? Because of the politics of disturbance and disruption that the opposition is doing. इसलिए the productivity कम हो रहा है. My request to you, Speaker, sir, this is something that you can do in your own remit as the Honorable Speaker. Speaker, sir, I'll conclude in 5 minutes, completing just 2 important points. Speaker, sir, when we have now increased the size of the Lok Sabha to 850, we should also proportionately increase the number of sittings of the Lok Sabha to be at least 1/2 times more than what we are now doing. Speaker, sir, you have started a great tradition by increasing the number of hours allocated to 0 hour. Many first-time speakers, first-time MPs, who till now had got no chance to speak in Parliament, they got a chance to speak because you gave more time. My request to you, Speaker, sir, is when the Parliament is going to become a 850-member body, instead of around 55 number of sittings that we do per year, if the Lok Sabha were to sit for 125 seats, or like in the case of the Japanese Diet, if we were to sit for 150 days, then every single member representing every single constituency will get more than enough time to place on the floor of the House the problems of the constituents. This is something that needs to be done. Speaker, sir, now I will also want to explain, Speaker, sir, why this whole attention that the opposition parties and a few regional parties in the south, led by the DMK, why are they doing so much noise? And why the tears that they are shedding is nothing but crocodile tears? Yes. Speaker, sir, I thank heavens that in 2026, when the country is doing delimitation, Narendra Modi ji is in power and Bharatiya Janata Party-led government will do the delimitation. Because if you remember, the way the Congress party, the UPA, divided the two undivided Andhra Pradesh into AP and Telangana, it was done in the partition of AP and Telangana was done in a worse fashion than the British did the partition of India and Pakistan. This is the kind of legacy they have, Adhyakshi. Adhyakshi, I want to conclude by bringing to your notice only one important aspect. In the last 10 years of the Narendra Modi government, the south of India has enjoyed great support, encouragement for the developmental ambitions of the south. Speaker, sir, on a conservative estimate, if you compare the devolution of funds from the center to the South Indian states in the last 10 years and contrast it to the 10 years of the UPA, on an average, every single South Indian state has got not less than 250% more funds by the Narendra Modi government. The Narendra Modi government has also increased the budget for railway lines. The number of railway electrification that has taken place in the last 10 years under the Modi government in the southern states is unprecedented. बजट पे नहीं है। मैं आपको ये इतना प्यार आ रहा है ना आप लोगों को, समाजवादियों को दक्षिण भारत के बारे में, इसलिए मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ जी, इसलिए मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ। सर, रेलवे बजट की बात देखिए आप। आंध्र प्रदेश में 2009 एंड 2014 के बीच में स्पीकर सर 886 crores was what they got. Narendra Modi government has given 10,000 crores. This is just one incident. Number of metros to the southern states has increased. Electrification has increased. Number of rails has increased. Number of airports has increased. The total devolution of funds to the South Indian states has increased. Most importantly, Speaker sir, we have not only given the southern states more money, more rail, more infrastructure, but most importantly, for the first time in the country's history, more than 25 national institutions today allow for regional language examination. If I want to apply for CRPF, I can do it in writing examination in Kannada, in Telugu, which was not the case when the Congress party was ruling. We have respected language. We have provided more development, and today Narendra Modi is also providing more seats and more proportion allotment to the southern Indian states by protecting the South's voice in the total parliament, the floor of the House. Speaker sir, I want to conclude by one last point that needs to be addressed. Speaker sir, the argument that has been repeatedly made is that the argument that is repeatedly made is that the Narendra Modi government is bringing in this proposal to somehow create a disadvantage for the southern Indian states. Nothing at all, Speaker sir, can be farther more than truth than this particular assertion. Speaker sir, I want to say that we come from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Bharatiya Janata Party sanskar, our culture, is not to see this nation as tukde tukde. The culture of this party is not to side with those who chant the slogan of Bharat ke tukde honge, inshallah, inshallah. This is not the culture of the Bharatiya Janata Party. The culture of the Bharatiya Janata Party is, the culture of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Speaker sir, is the culture of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Speaker sir, is Himalayat samarabhya yavat Indu sarovaram tam deva nirmitam desham Hindustanam prachakshate. Jo desh ऊपर हिमालय से नीचे भारत के इंदु सरोवर तक है, वो पूरा देश जो अखंड है, अविच्छिन्न है, वो भारत है. दिस इज द कमिटमेंट ऑफ भारतीय जनता पार्टी. वो कन्याकुमारी हो, वो कश्मीर हो, वो कच्छ हो या कामाख्या हो, we will support for the integrity, sovereignty, unity of this country, because that is not only a constitutional mandate, but most importantly, the Bharatiya Janata Party's Karyakarta believes that it is our civilizational duty to protect this country. This is what differentiates us from the parties like the Congress that sides with tukde parties, and like the DMK, which speaks the language of separatism. We abhor your politics, we reject your politics. In conclusion, I want to say, if the UPA and the opposition today, Speaker sir, is going to vote against these most practical, most constitutional, most inclusive proposition, then for years to come, the history of the country will remember the opposition and all of you sitting here as not only opposition to the women of the country, but also to the interests of the southern Indian states of the country. I want to emphatically say again, if you will reject this, if you will vote against this, the people of this country, the women of this country will never forgive you. The people in the south of India will never forgive you, because your politics is not a politics of inclusion, your politics is a politics of anarchy. I really hope that you will honestly examine the merit of this proposition and also honestly examine the hollowness of your own arguments and finally vote in support of this historic bill. I once again thank Prime Minister Narendra Modi for not only giving voice finally after 40 years to the women of this country, but most importantly for protecting the interests of all southern states and all important small states of the country. Thank you, Prime Minister, sir. Thank you for what you have offered to the South. This is the best deal ever possible. Thank you, Speaker, sir.
Shri 𝘆liche𝗂𝗿𝗍.
Assurance was given by the chairman that I will be permitted to react. Sir, I may be permitted. Sir, Tejasvi Surya, honorable member, made a clear allegation that DMK stands for separatism of the country. Sir, in 1971, when Pakistan launched a war, we gave 6 crore, which was not matched by any other state, to maintain this nationalism of the country. In 1999, when Vajpayee was the Prime Minister, Tamil Nadu government, led by Dr. Kaloji, gave 100 crores for the Kargil war. He should not teach nationalism for us. We are for the nationalism. The only thing is we want to keep separate identity when you are imposing Hindi, when you are imposing Sanskrit. When you are not giving due respect for state autonomy. That's all. Correct your record.
Shri
Speaker, sir, 2 days ago, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin, has put out a video. In that he has said that if the central government is not going to take the bills back, then we will remind them of 1950s and 1960s. What does he mean by that? 1950s and 1960s.
𝘆liche𝗂𝗍𝗍.
अध्यक्ष महोदय, अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं आपका धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ।
प्लीज
अध्यक्ष महोदय, अध्यक्ष महोदय, अध्यक्ष महोदय, अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं आपका धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ। आज मुझे एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण समय पे मुझे बोलने का मौका मिल रहा है। अध्यक्ष महोदय,